November 30th, 2019, with Thomas George, Manchester, England?
Gloucester.
A Gloucester, England native and Mizzou redshirt senior who just finished off a great cross-country season. Obviously won the Gans Creek, the first ever men's race at the new Gans Creek course in Columbia. You go up to Wisconsin, Nuttycombe, 43rd, and then you have a great SEC championships in Lexington, Kentucky, 8th place, 23-14 for 8K. And then, 2 weeks ago, yesterday, just a huge race, 30-42 runner-up finish at the Division I Midwest Regional in Stillwater, Oklahoma, behind Iowa State's Edwin Kurgat, just 4 seconds behind him. Take me back to that day and how special and what are some of the memories that stand out about that day?
It was pretty cool. I was going into the race, I was expecting top 5 or so.
Yeah, get that NCAA qualifying spot.
Yeah, I was whatever I need to do to make it was.
Yeah.
So, I was feeling pretty good. It got out real slow. So
yeah.
We were chilling for the first 5-6K, and I heard the Iowa State coach shout 2K to Kurgat. And I was like, okay, so this guy's gonna go hard about 8K in.
Right.
So I was anticipating that. We went up a hill at 6K, and I was running into people, and I wasn't trying very hard. So I was like, okay, I feel good enough to either win or come second.
Sure.
I think the only person who's working less than me is Kurgat, which
right.
to be the case. But I knew that come 8K, he's got to put the foot down. So it wasn't I had to react to the move. It's just I knew it was coming.
You were ready for it.
Yeah. So we swung around the corner, and I think it's downhill when you hit 8K.
Yeah.
I saw that, and the race spread out a lot, so everyone's all over the place and just going for it. And I was like, all right, let's go. Let's get after it. So I went with him, but I didn't sell the house on going with him.
Sure.
I didn't want to.
Nationals 8 days later, yeah.
Yeah, try and win and then, explode the last 100 and get sniped.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah.
Right.
I just, I don't know, did enough. It felt real good. I don't know, just one of those days where you felt great.
And what was that like coming down the home stretch and crossing the finish, knowing that you'd qualified and had where NCAA?
Yeah, I was pretty excited. Yeah, it's probably, probably the most excited I've been at the end of a race. So
right.
Yeah, it was nice. It's once I realized that nobody was going to catch me, that was great.
Yeah.
There was a moment I was like, oh, I don't feel so hot. I feel like these guys have got to be coming back, and I looked and there was no one close. So I was like, sweet. This is good. So yeah.
And the celebration that ensued with hugs with Coach Burns and Halter and Smith and the rest of your teammates. I mean, that had to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice having everyone there because it hasn't been the smoothest 5 years here.
Right.
So for it to finally click.
Sure.
Was great. Yeah, that was really satisfying because it justifies everything that we've been doing the past couple of years.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2 years ago, as a redshirt junior at Iowa State, you were 15th, 13th, 15th.
Yeah.
So we're talking a few seconds. Basically 8-9 spots away from maybe 10 from making nationals. And then what was it like last year having to sit out and I can't remember if that was strategic or if that was just that
last year I was 37 for regionals. So,
yeah.
I redshirted my sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
So freshman year I came in and I was pretty cocky.
All right. Yeah.
Great. And then I ran and got hammered every single meet.
Gotcha.
So sophomore year I was like, okay, let's redshirt this
Sure.
and just build up. And then junior year was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would say. Last year I was like, okay, me and Kieran were both in
right.
really good shape and we were expecting to be
sure.
in the conversation to make it, and we got to it and just got hammered.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we're ready for the snow and.
Yeah, Bradley. It was pretty snowy and muddy, and so the snow that was not on the ground had melted and made it nasty and muddy and.
Yeah, it got real churned up and that.
Yeah.
That did not play to our strengths.
Right.
So we didn't do great. So that was pretty disappointing because.
Sure.
It's oh yeah, I'm in the best shape of my life, and then I ran horribly.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's all right. That's how it goes.
And then you turn around, and 8 days later, or 6 days later, you're in Terre Haute getting ready for nationals. And what was that like managing emotions and expectations that week? Was that easy to do, or was that tough to be okay? I've seen my brother here, before, and this has been my goal, and now I'm finally here. And how were you able to handle that?
I feel like I handled most of the pressure pretty well. I don't know. I was kind of expected myself to be there.
Sure.
So when I made it, I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting second, but
Yeah.
I was expecting to make it. So
Sure.
yeah, it's just tough because at that point everyone's taking their break, so it's like training is just like me
Sure.
by myself. So
Right.
that was kind of a drag.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting there, it's a weird being an individual because like they took Kieran with me, so I had someone to hang out
Right.
with, but it's still like everything's about you for a couple of days.
Sure.
Some people like that, and I don't. I like kind of sitting back and just
Yeah.
going with the flow. So yeah, it was weird. It was a weird vibe, but I really enjoyed going to nationals. Like the banquet and all that was fun. Like it
Sure.
was a good experience. Race itself wasn't great, but I
Yeah.
saw it.
Well, yeah, obviously if you get there, and especially if you make it and qualify as an individual, everybody, the goal is to be in that top 40 and be All-American, and you got to see your brother do that 3 years ago, and that was pretty exciting, obviously, and a great experience for you. And just talk about how the race played out. Obviously it was pretty brutal conditions,
Yeah.
with just the cold and the rain and the sleet and the mud, and I mean that was just monumental,
Yeah.
terrible course conditions.
Yeah, it was
So
pretty rough.
talk me through the race and how you got off to literally a bad start.
Yeah.
Step.
Yeah, so like on the line, like I don't think anybody really heard the guy say on your marks.
Yeah.
We kind of went down in that position because everyone else was.
Sure.
So that didn't help, but then I just slipped off the line. I don't know. I guess I stood on some mud, so the second I tried to push off, I just straight down.
Yeah.
By like me and the Nebraska guy just popped back up.
Yeah.
And I sent it to catch up with everybody, and probably bit off a bit more than I could chew considering I fell. But I wanted to put myself in the mix and see what happens, and it was a fight out there.
Right.
And it's tough because there's no other race like it. Like Wisconsin was a bit like it.
Yeah.
But there'd be points where I was passing people on the right, and
Yeah.
on the left there were like 4 people passing me, passing them, and it's just like,
Right.
geez, this is insane.
Yeah.
So it was super like up and down, and just,
Sure.
yeah, like you turn off for like 4 seconds, 20 people pass you, and then
Right.
you're like, wait, I need to go. So then you pass those 20 people, and then someone like 10 other
Right.
people pass.
There's so many different moves and so many different surges that are going on, and so yeah, you obviously you recovered from your fall at the start to get up to 52nd at the 3K, and what obviously besides the physical stress it is, what was it just mentally, is that tough? You think your pace is going well and you're passing people, and then other people are just all that movement? What was that like? And walk me through how the rest of that race played out.
It's like kind of overwhelming. I
Sure.
guess. You're just like, whoa, okay, like
Yeah.
we're going, and it's hard to just engage.
Yeah.
Like the whole race it's draining, I guess, because like at regionals I did well because you get to the front and then you just sit there. 'Cause
Right.
everyone jogs,
You can
but
shut your brain off
half
through
the race,
through
so, yeah.
6K basically.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, nobody's gonna go before 5K, so I'm here, so I'm just gonna chill. And then after 5K, you're like, someone might go, but you know that it's not really gonna kick off until a bit later. But that is just hard the whole way, and it's like,
Sure.
oh. Yeah, and then it's like a lot of it was just trying to weave around people.
Yeah.
Because you'll have some people who just get to a certain point and just bonk.
Right,
They're
yeah.
dropping like a rock, and you're trying to not get stuck.
Not to
behind
run
them, so
into
you're
'em.
Just going, and then someone's going past you, and you're just getting shoved all over the place.
Sure.
But it was good fun.
Yeah,
Hard.
yeah. You finished 120th, I think, and
Yeah.
obviously 32:07, and obviously you'll probably always think of, oh man, if I wouldn't have slipped at the start, and if things would have gone different, Edwin Kurgat, who I'm 4 seconds behind at regionals, wins a national title. I'm in that mix and be All-American, and so how do you move past that and say, okay, that was a great season. Things have really, the work that's put in, it's paid off, and we know that I'm a talented, gifted runner, and when I put in the work and I'm mentally on top of it, I'm a pretty special runner. How do you move past that and then focus for indoors and outdoors? And
I guess it's like going into it. I know that realistic, like most people you can kind of like you'll have your like top 10,
Sure.
just a lock for the top
Right.
10, or like All-American at least.
sure,
But then after that, it's like you could be like top 40, you could be like 120th.
right. There's a
I was
group of
talking to somebody exactly, and I said that it's like you could be in the top 40, you could be 120th, and it's like I was on the wrong side of that swing.
Right.
Like just crazy. Like,
Yeah.
if I look at some of the people who are behind me, there's like 13, 30, 5K guys.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to have a good day
Sure.
all the time, especially coming off like a regional meet. So it's like, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
But it doesn't define my fitness, because obviously, like when I was second, I beat the guy who was third at Midwest. He
Right.
was like top 15. He was like 11th or 12th, I think.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I know that I'm capable of beating those guys. I'm capable of being close enough to Kurgat. Like, so it's annoying that I didn't get to showcase that, but it doesn't make me unfit, I guess. So I know that push comes to shove, like, you're always going to have bad days. It's
Sure.
just unfortunate that my bad day was at Nationals.
Yeah. No, there's definitely, any given year, there's basically 100 plus guys could be at that top 40, 120, and the couple of your fellow countrymen for Tulsa that were behind you at regionals, got in there into that top 20 at nationals, and so as you look forward and go, are you shutting it down? No, not going to try to go out to Boston and run a fast 5K. Just get ready for January, February, March.
Yeah, I was thinking about Boston for a bit, but I spoke to Burns on Monday about it, and it's like we could do it, or we could just train really hard.
Sure.
And then when it really matters, like getting a fast 5K and like send it then.
Yeah.